There we go. Pardon the bouncy camera because I'm just holding it. But welcome to Not Little Cows, and I'm not a cow anymore. So this is our Shrock family update for herding little cows to the glory of God.
Yep.
But since we are now in Tennessee, my family doesn't get to be part of this video. So you're going to have to put up with us, and then we'll send this video off to my dad, and he can share it with y'all. And we're now I'm now a Tennessean, so you're y'all. Anywho.
Hi, everybody. So we're going to do an update, a video on our honeymoon and how much the Lord has blessed us, just with us being married for a month and 10 days. Right?
Yeah. I just realized people know who we are, right?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who we are, I am the oldest daughter of Mark and Sarah. And so all those like really, really, really cute little kids on the video, they're my siblings. So you can like them all you want, but I actually have claim on them because I'm actually related. So you guys can just enjoy how cute they are, and I'll get to go give them cuddles. Okay. So, and this is my husband.
We got married May 13th, and we left on our honeymoon. We went to, the first place we went was Pigeon Forge. We spent 2 nights in Pigeon Forge, and that was a lot of fun. We stayed at a cabin over there. We realized we really liked the cabins in Pigeon Forge.
It's beautiful. It was overlooking the Smoky Mountains, right from the living room. Like one time we looked out and we saw the clouds down below us. It was just amazing being up there in the mountains.
Yeah. And then we went horse riding when we were there. At Cades Cove. That was a lot of fun.
Yes. Highly suggest it. Their horses seem to be really well taken care of, and just really fun rides and stuff like that.
Yep. We then came back to Knoxville and stayed the night in Knoxville one night, and then the next morning we left on our maiden voyage up to Maine in a bus and a camper.
Yes, so we took, for those of you who have been following my parents' journey, we all came down to Tennessee, and they had their bus and camper down here and their van, because he had driven our van down in September. Some of you guys may remember that. So they took the van home, hauling a vehicle for us to drive once we got up there. But then we took their bus and camper because before Naomi starts driver's ed, I was the only driver apart from Mommy. And so she couldn't take both vehicles up. So we drove the bus and camper up there. They let us use it for our honeymoon as long as we just dropped it off in Maine, which worked out great. It was awesome to have that and travel places we wanted to go and be able to have a place to stay and not have to worry about hotels and stuff like that. So it was a huge blessing. So we took that up, and then so we went from here to Heart Cry Missionary Society in Roanoke, Virginia, which again is a place I highly suggest going. It was great. We got to talk to a lot of the staff members there, and just get to meet people that we hadn't met before, that we had been praying for, and get prayer requests about saints in other parts of the world, and talk about just godly marriage and things like that. So it was really, really awesome. Evangelism.
Highly recommend you guys look up Heart Cry and just look up the stuff that the resources they have and the missionaries they support. And that's really cool stuff.
Definitely. Then from Heart Cry, well, we spent the night there in the camper, which was awesome. And even the building itself is really cool. It's an old plantation house, and it's just beautiful. And then we went to the Luray Caverns.
No, first we went up the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We went up the Blue Ridge Parkway.
First we went up the Blue Ridge. After we left Roanoke that morning, we went to Blue Ridge Parkway, and we were supposed to drive the entire thing all the way until it ended up in the northern side of Virginia. And, well, we went about we started at 8 a.m. in the morning, and then we got about 20 miles by noon. We'd only driven like 20 miles, something like that. And so we quickly realized that we weren't going to make the entire trip of the Blue Ridge Parkway at the rate we were going, because there were so many pull-offs and just beautiful mountain sceneries that we enjoyed seeing. We went on a small hike. Just so much to see up there and enjoy, and it was just, there was no traffic or anything. And so we had quickly realized we were not going to make it, excuse me, we were not going to make it to our appointment that we had for Luray Caverns that evening, which was in Luray, Virginia. And so we quickly realized we need to get off the Blue Ridge Parkway and get on the interstate and go down our way to the caverns.
Mm-hmm.
So on our way, we got off the Blue Ridge Parkway around 1 or a little after, like 1 o'clock or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we came down to this small town where we found a rope swing, like an old rope bridge. Not rope swing, rope bridge.
Swinging bridge.
Swinging bridge.
Rope swinging bridge.
It was really cool. We had lots of pictures. It was just a little tiny town, and it was a nice little bridge.
Apart from all of the boards that were marked on it that needed to be replaced. But we didn't fall through, so it was fun.
Mm-hmm. The max occupancy of the bridge was 3 people at a time, so...
And you're not allowed to run or make it swing. So, all you large families out there who like watching My Family, you're going to have to take turns. And I didn't even know what town it was in.
I didn't even know what town it was in either.
But it was really cool.
Not far from Roanoke.
Yeah. So then we went to the Luray Caverns, which was really, really fun. We got to listen to the stalactite organ playing A Mighty Fortress is Our God and look at the formations. If you ever get to go, take some time at Dream Lake, I think is what it's called down there. And there's water, but because there's no wind or anything, it is completely still and it gives a perfect reflection of what's above it. And so it looks like you're like looking into a hole, but it's actually just a reflection of what's above. It's really, really cool. It kind of messes with your head. You have to kind of squat down to be like, no, that is water. It's not a hole. So that was really, really fun. We loved that. Beautiful, beautiful place. Then from Luray, we went to see our friends, the Bates family in Pennsylvania, and my family had actually stopped there for several days on their way home because we've been friends with the Bates since before Naomi was born. And so Mrs. Bates used to live with my family when I was little for a while. So that was really fun to see her and just to see their family again. God has worked immensely in their lives since we've met them. So it's been really cool to be just seeing the process from the outside of how God has continued to sanctify them and bring more children into their family. And, well, actually, we've known them since before they had any children. So, see all the little cute kids. And not so little kids anymore. But, yeah, so we stayed at their house for a little while. How many? Couple nights.
Couple nights.
Couple nights. And then we went to, what was the name of that grocery outlet? BB's?
Something like that.
It's like a Mennonite grocery outlet, and that was really, really cool. I liked that. What else did we do while we were in Virginia? Oh, Pennsylvania. We stopped at Gettysburg before we got to the Bates house.
Yes, that's right. Yep, we went to Gettysburg, drove around, walked around, looked at monuments, read signs. It was way bigger than I imagined it to be, so we need to spend way more time there.
Yeah.
But we ended up spending quite a bit of time there, and that was good.
Yeah. And then from the Bates, we went to New Hampshire. We went and stayed with Lola, and that was really, really fun. We got there one night. She was still at work, but then we got to see her the next morning, and we went to church together at her church, Harvest Bible Church, I think is the name of it. Nate Pickowitz is the pastor there. If you guys have seen American Gospel, you might recognize Nate from that. But we just had a really good time at church there in the morning. Really good sermon. And then Lola invited a bunch of people from church, and our friend Robert came out to her house, and so we just got to have an afternoon of fellowship and really good food, because if you go to Lola's house, there's really good food. And so we got to hang out for a while, and then after most people left, it was just us and Robert and Lola and another girl who was there, and so we got to talk about evangelism a lot, and that was really, really, really good time. Then after Lola's, while we were still at Lola's, the next day she took us to the White Mountains, and we hiked. New Hampshire, yeah. So we did the Flume Gorge and the Basin, which, if you're big families, the Basin is free, I think. Yeah, the Basin is free, and that's an easy walk, so I would highly recommend that. With kids, it's like a waterfall that comes down and creates a natural whirlpool. You don't get in the water there, but you can see the stream. It's really, really pretty and really easy for the kids to do. And then the Flume Gorge is easy. I think like it's mostly flat walkways or like boardwalk with stairs and stuff like that. So you could do it. But
it's a few miles long. There were kids hiking and stuff like that, but there were stairs and stuff like that. So
yeah, and you have to buy tickets, and those get pricey if you're buying for a lot of people. So that's one thing I would say, but if you have the money to buy the tickets, I think it would be really good for kids as long as they can walk stairs and like 2 miles. So
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we enjoyed it. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful just create. I don't know how exactly it was made. Don't read the signs that they posted out there, but like it was a beautiful waterfall that made like this tunnel gorge, and it was really something to see. Yeah,
that was awesome. There were some spots that I would probably freak out with little kids, but as long as you keep them away from the railings, it'll be fine. There's our hiking recommendations there. Okay, so what did we do after New Hampshire? We went back to Maine. So we stayed at my parents' house. We had the camper still parked there, and so we stayed in the camper, but we got to do like my parents provided us most of our meals, so that was fun to be able to be with the family again and do Bible time and stuff like that. And then we went hiking again. We did
Mount Batty. Did Mount Batty over in Rockland?
Camden.
Oh, Camden.
That one I wouldn't suggest for little kids. Older kids, if they have a little bit of hiking experience, I'm sure could definitely do it. And then even if they're older and have never hiked before, I'd say they could do it. But the rocks can be a little
You can
tricky.
drive up it too.
Yeah, but you can take the auto road. So we did Mount Batty. We did the breakwater. That was really fun. What else did we do?
We had a party in Maine.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had our kind of like our northern reception for those who weren't able to make it to the Tennessee wedding. So we had a bunch of people. We did dancing. We ate a bunch of food. My grandmother provided a huge meal. So that was awesome. Really, really fun. We got to see a bunch of different friends. Did your brain explode with meeting that many new people in a day?
Still there.
Good. Then what else? We just had a lot of fun with the family, being able to see them again and spend some time before we officially moved in here.
Did some ministry over in Portland.
Oh, yes, that was fun. A couple of his friends came from, he had met them down in Texas. They don't live in Texas anymore. But his dad had gone to school with them down at one of the seminaries, you know the name of it. And so that was really fun. Then we took almost a week. We went up to Bar Harbor, and a friend of my grandmother's gave us the chance to use his house up in Bar Harbor. So we were right near Acadia National Park. But actually, before we went to Bar Harbor, we went up to see the family. Her YouTube channel, I think, is called Mama Bear to Many, if you look them up. And I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. But we got to have a fun time with them. They had just learned how to dance, and so the kids really wanted to dance. So we had a really good time, and we got to hang out and talk about family worship and just different things in our lives that had shaped us into who we were today, and just spend some time visiting with the family. And so that was really fun. And then from there, we went to Bar Harbor. And we
visited your grandparents.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We visited them on the way up to Mama Bear to Many. And then we visited Acadia National Park. We walked out to Bar Island, which the island is part of the park. It's a sandbar, and so at high tide, the ocean covers it. But at low tide, you're able to walk out to the island on the sandbar. So that was really fun. Went to downtown Bar Harbor.
We seen a couple cruise boats come in while we were there.
Oh yeah, the Norwegian Pearl was there, which is a good sized cruise ship. We went hiking again in Acadia. That was really fun. Then after Bar Harbor, we went back to my parents' house and spent some more time with them. We did a day of family pictures. I don't know if I haven't seen my dad post those yet, but maybe someday you'll be able to see our family photos. And so that was really fun. What else? Was that pretty much all that we did in Maine? We went
up in Bar Harbor.
Up in Bar Harbor. Yeah,
and we came back down. Yeah, we didn't do too much because of weather. We were supposed to go to a couple beaches and stuff like that, but the weather turned out bad. Someone ordered rain and cold weather in June.
Whoever that was, no thank you. No, just kidding. But no, God definitely blessed us with just time with the family. And what was the other thing I was going to say? I don't know. So then we...
I don't know. The video is getting long, so make sure y'all watch till the end.
Yeah.
Make sure you watch to the end.
Or else. No, just kidding. So after we left Maine, we went to Niagara Falls. Took a 10-hour road trip over to Niagara Falls from Maine. Got there that night, or got there that evening, and we seen the Niagara Falls all lit up. Well, first we went to our hotel, then we went to Niagara Falls when it was dark because we wanted to see it lit up because they light the falls up at nighttime. I had never been there before. Virginia had been there. And so we enjoyed that a lot. Mm-hmm. We seen it all lit up. They had all kinds of colors. We got wet. Not because we were in the falls, but because it started raining and stuff on us. There were a lot of people down there. And then we went home like 11. We went back to the hotel like 11:30 at night or something like that. I think I fell asleep on the way home.
Yeah. And the next morning we got up, went back to the falls because we wanted to see them in the daytime. And we enjoyed seeing that. We were there until like a little afternoon or something like that. And we'd seen more of the falls and got to see them in person. Got to see Made of the Mist in the water. All kinds of stuff. We
didn't go on it, but with me, I don't know how well I would do. I might freeze because of my health, but we'll see. Maybe I'll go down there sometime. We'll just have to see how I do.
We took lots of videos, lots of pictures of all this stuff, so maybe we're hoping to make a video maybe of like all the videos and pictures and memories and stuff that we took down there.
Yeah. And then after Niagara Falls, we went to my aunt and uncle's farm in Ohio, which was really, really fun. Waylon had never been there before, so I got to introduce him to my aunt and uncle, and actually other family came out one night for dinner, and so we got to do dinner with them. And just spend time on the farm. It's a beautiful old farmhouse. And we went to the Swiss house, which is an old historical homestead near there where my uncle works. And actually his family has history there. If you go around, you can like see his ancestors' name on different things. So that was really awesome. We drove around and looked at his farm. It was funny because he has all this corn and soybeans. He's what's it called? Farmer, yeah. But he raises crops, and he has like 1,200 acres or more. He has a lot. Well, this one night we were there, somebody texted him, who I don't think knows much about farming, and goes, "Your corn looks terrible." And so sadly just couldn't get over that his corn looked terrible, that this guy texted him. And so finally we all drove out there to look at his corn.
That looked terrible.
He's like, "Yeah, I'm not really unhappy with that corn."
It didn't look terrible.
It didn't look terrible.
It hadn't rained there in a while, and so they were hoping for rain to come, which it did end up coming like the next day.
Yeah, so it just needed some rain, and it was fine. So we ended up on that drive. He drove us around to like almost all. It might have been all the farms that he owns.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really fun to look at his crops, and he knows a lot about farming. So just to see all that stuff. Explore his equipment, because he's got a lot of equipment too. So anywho, sorry, I'm making this video really, really long. Do you really care about my uncle's farm equipment? But no. Okay. Sorry. Deal with me. And then from Ohio, we went to another farm, a smaller farm in Kentucky.
No, we went to the Aviation Museum first up in Ohio.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. We went to the Aviation Museum over in Dayton, and we spent all of 3 or 4 hours, 3 hours, I think 3 hours there. Mm-hmm. And we rushed through seeing all the planes and everything because we were supposed to meet up with my aunt for lunch around that time also. And then we still had to get to where we were staying that night, which was a few hours away. So
then we went to the farm in Kentucky, which is where my family lived. Probably over a decade ago. It was a long time ago. So we got to go stay on the farm and see that our host family who I've known for a long, long time. Wayland had never met them before, but very sweet Christian hospitality. We got to do Bible time with them, play some games. Their son creates games, and so we played a couple of his games. And then from Kentucky, we came home.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is our apartment that if you guys, I don't know if we mentioned it before, that Wayland was renovating an apartment in a barn near us. Well, actually creating an apartment. There was an apartment here before.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is our little apartment.
Yeah.
So now we're home and we're settling in. We got home a little over a week ago.
Oh yeah, it was about a week ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we love it here. We're really close to our church family and able to spend time with his family as well. We've seen them several times since we got home. But yeah, it's been really awesome. I'm so glad to be home.
Yep. Yep. So after the Lord blessed us with so much traveling and all this stuff that we did, He also blessed us with a little child on the way. So we are officially, or Virginia is pregnant. So that was the big reveal at the end of the video for those who stuck around and watched the entire 21 minutes of it so far.
Sorry.
But it was good. So yeah, so the Lord has blessed us with a child, baby, due in February, Lord willing. So we wanted to make a video to tell you all that.
Yes.
And how much the Lord blessed us just on our honeymoon, and just how the Lord really has just like ordained so much and just blessed us with so much things to be able to enjoy and to do together since we've been married. So
definitely. It's been an amazing journey thus far, and we will possibly give y'all future updates, see how time allows and how YouTube famous we want to be. Just kidding. We're not famous at all. But if we want to share more of our lives with you, then be sure to check out my family's channel and follow us on Facebook for more updates. If there's anything really important, I'm sure my family will share it. So be sure to check out Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God on Facebook. And I think they might be on Instagram too. That's how Instagram savvy I am. But thank y'all for joining us and sticking with us for now 22 minutes of my rambling. But I'm going to blame it on pregnancy brain. So we will see y'all again next time.